welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, on my channel, there's no such thing as a topic that would never be touched. Now, today I'm going to talk about the dysfunction that you can find in the LGBTQIA community. And this is not a program of disrespect. All this is my humble opinion. And I have to say that. Why? Because that group, in my most humble opinion, are the most easiest when it comes to being offended, trying to attack my First Amendment right of freedom of speech. Now, I'm not going to make any bad slurs or anything like that. But what I am going to do is show the violence that is in their community. Why is this important? Because in the black community, a lot of our daughters, and I'm trying to protect the daughters, they believe that they should just go over to that side. And they're not really in it to win it. They're just over there experimenting, then they come back. And I hate the fact that it's being sold that if you're being a part of this community, that everything is all rainbows, peaches, and ice cream, but it's really not according to the statistics. So I'm going to have members of their own community speak on it. And y'all need to really hear this. So let's go ahead and get started. 1 second, I bring the music down just ever so slightly. Now let's go ahead and do it. As I pull it up. Much love.
Every day I'm checking out something else that's going on about women killing their girlfriends and stuff, and that's for some reason caught me off guard. And I became disappointed in myself that it caught me off guard because it's such a fallacy that we all get along, that in the lesbian, gay community, I guess you'll call it the LGBTQIA plus community, that we're so loving and all of that, and we want everybody to be so supportive, and we are not supportive of one another. We aren't the most friendly community.
See, I'm glad she's speaking about this because obviously she a stud, right? Now check this out. To me, in my most humble opinion, they are not unified. The members of the LGBTQIA community, it took all my breath to say that, they are not unified. The only time that they come in unity, in my humble opinion, is when they want to stand up against heterosexual people. If people have religious belief that is, against what they believe, if they don't want to offer business opportunity to them, like making a marriage cake that with a bride and a groom, but they want two groom, whatever, they come together and stuff like that to attack. In my personal opinion, that's my humble opinion. They come together to attack other people who want to believe what they want to believe. Now, with that being said, who is the real bullies here? Because the heterosexual community has been called the bullies, that we are oppressing them. I don't see that. I know there's some idiots out there that don't like people for whatever, but I'm not one of them. But what I've seen is them always aggressive towards us now. Putting certain things in Target and Walmart for children who's not old enough to know how to tie their shoe. Pushing a propaganda. I saw some little thing for a little 3-4 month year old child saying some stuff about my gay little pride or some stuff like that. I think, in my humble opinion, that they are grooming children into doing things that they're not even ready to try to even experiment with. In my most humble opinion, you got drag queens going to schools, teaching and reading storybooks, little things to children. You got to look this stuff up. All of it's shooting in my mind right now. But I just want y'all to think about that.
So it lends itself to there being a lot of abuse in that space, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody's focused on all the other things, but there's a lot of lesbians killing their girlfriends. And maybe I'm just waking up to it. Maybe it's me that's just waking up to it. But I'm bothered with that. I'm bothered with that we're not talking about it in the community itself. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about the fact that we aren't friendly, that we really aren't a friendly community, not towards one another. We'll get outside help and outside support and want that more than we support each other. We don't speak when we see each other. We definitely don't get along. Lesbians don't get along with gay men. We know this. Trans and gays don't get along. We are a community of culture of friendliness and togetherness. Yeah, you might see it at a big rally and all that, but let me say in the black community, I ain't white, so I don't know. But in the community that I dwell in, we are the friendly people. And we want everybody else to be supportive of us, and we're not supportive of each other.
Right.
I'm putting together a thing now of all the women that's been killed lately by their partners. This is crazy. Nobody's talking about that.
Now, I have talked about this several times on different episodes, man, where I had numbers that I put on the screen showing that domestic abuse among members of the LGBTQIA is way more than members of the heterosexual community. And I'm going to show you some more statistics, but I won't be putting it on the screen. I'm going to let these people tell you the statistics so you can hear it for yourself. People from different ethnic groups.
Nobody's talking about that. That they're getting killed within months of being threatened before, and now they're dead, and we're not talking about it. But we want everybody to support us in the lifestyle, that everything that we make decisions about is right. As an adult, we're making bad decisions, and you think kids can make right decisions. Yeah, skipping about a lot of stuff, but I'm just agitated that we want people to support us. We're not even friendly to one another at all. What you want them to do? Cheer for us and we don't cheer for each other? Speak to us and we don't speak to each other? Support us and we don't support each other? Don't kill us, but we killing each other? It's not just, come on. Let's fix this. Let's fix this. Let's talk about it. Make it a conversation that becomes comfortable to have amongst our community so we can figure out how do we go to each other and stop hurting our partners. Let's find a way to do that. All right.
Yes. So I'm just letting you know. I'm just reporting the facts and the truth. And I'm going to give you some numbers. They're going to come out the mouths of other people who have done the research about this. Did you know that 2 men who are gay and married, their marriages last longer than 2 women who are gay marriages? So it's not the problem. The problem is not the men. Women can't get along with women. Women, you can't get along with yourselves. It ain't the men, it's y'all. Let's get it.
Ready for this? The lesbian divorce rate is 3 times higher than gay men that are married. Men can get along with each other. Now, I'm not telling males and men, heterosexual males, to go out and marry a dude. That's not the answer. But hear me out. What I'm saying is, the men that are married together are 3 times less likely to get divorced than women that are married together. So in other words, it's a 25% divorce rate among gay men. It's a 75% among gay women.
Wow.
The average length of the lesbian marriage is 4.1 years.
So most of these women who are lesbian, their marriage don't even make it to 5 years. Just think about this. Over 75% of lesbian marriages deteriorate.
So if the gay men marriage divorce rate is 25% and the lesbians are 72, 75%, what does that tell you about who's better in a marriage? Men.
Men have always been better in the marriage than a woman have. It's the women who file all the damn divorce claim for, divorces. The men have always been better. They might cheat here and there, but they have always been better in the marriage than the women have.
Men. See, men are easy once you figure it out. But wait, there's more. If you act now for 1995, you'll get 2 sets of steak knives. I'm not done yet. You ready? Now, I can say all that and give you the data, but you're like, what's the solution? I have the solution for you. And I'm being serious. I hope people are watching this because they're going to wish they watched this show.
And then they cut off for a solution. What is the solution from my opinion? Marry the way that God meant marriage to be. Married, go by the design that God created for marriage. That's my solution. That's my personal humble opinion of how to make a lot of stuff, And I'm not against anybody. It's my opinion. Freedom of speech. And I didn't make this video to offend nobody. It's my personal opinion. And I ain't apologizing for shit either. This is exactly what I mean. I say what I mean what I say. See, one other thing I want to put on the screen for y'all. Some more statistics. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
I could not resist, so I had to look it up. From the Office of National Statistics, from a 2019 study, in ever-increasing numbers, we are now at a lesbian divorce rate of 72%. So the top 4 reasons that they are reporting getting divorced is feeling ignored, inequality in the partnership, adultery, and domestic violence. Personally, I feel
everything she named is the same thing that you find in bad, dysfunctional heterosexual relationships. So it's worse on that side than it is over here with us, where the sacks and the dinglings are swinging at. It's easier over here. I'm just saying what I say.
I feel like this lends some weight to men's arguments and complaints about how women are behaving in relationships. Because when you have lesbian divorce statistics that look like that, the girls are kind of telling on themselves. The number one reason why same-sex marriages, relationships fail, and we know this is primarily women, number one reason given is, quote, unreasonable behavior. And that should put a smile on many men's faces.
Yes.
A deep dive into a PubMed article found that this unreasonable behavior umbrella covered everything from adultery, like emotionally cheating, even if it's not physical, not thinking through their actions, while simultaneously having a much lower tolerance for betrayals and infidelity, and are more likely to also have been previously married. It's kind
So basically, women are the problem. It doesn't matter if they date a man, date a woman, date a frog, date a donkey, date a cloud, date a tree. All of those things are still going to have a problem with women. Women, modern day women, are just messed up. You can't argue with the numbers. You can argue with me. You can say I'm being a mean person, but you cannot argue with statistics and data and facts. You can't argue with it.
of like the perfect storm. Now, the next set of statistics is going to absolutely blow you away. This was focused entirely on lesbian domestic violence. 45% of lesbians report having at least one act of physical violence perpetrated by their lesbian partner. The types of physical abuse named by more than 10% of the participants included pushing, shoving, driving recklessly to punish, slapping, kicking, biting, or hitting.
So basically, in those marriages, it's like watching a cage fight.
It included schmuctual abuse by their woman partner, as being reported as up to 50% of these women. The psychological abuse has been reported as occurring at least one time by 90% of lesbians.
Damn.
And there is no proof anywhere that there is a likelihood that either one of the partners, where they say some are more masculine than the others, there is no difference in who is more likely to be the aggressor. Some report that they were just fighting back. There were other articles that I read that were legitimate, that talked about women having a propensity to have higher expectations of their partner, which makes it even more difficult for any partner to meet their expectation, regardless of their gender. Now, that kind of sounds like women might have a few things that they could work on, besides focusing all their energy on just blaming everybody else.
You had another woman right there. She is a member of that community of the LGBTQIA who says the same thing that heterosexual men have been saying for the last 30 years, that women need to take accountability for their actions. So don't think when you cross over to the other side that you're not going to find women who are not taking accountability for their actions. Now I'm going to show you an illustration which is kind of comical, but it's true. Let's get it.
Lesbian marriage apparently has a higher divorce rate than non-lesbian marriage. I assume if this marriage had a lesbian in it, it would have a pretty high divorce rate. Does that prove that women are bad? Not really. But it might mean something about negativity and positivity in relationships. I found this clip about lesbian divorce statistics.
National statistics from a 2019 study. In ever-increasing numbers, we are now at a lesbian divorce rate of 72%. So the top 4 reasons that they are reporting getting divorced is...
Apparently, women have the same complaints about women that they do about men, and some men find that pretty validating. Why would that be validating? Well, it suggests that men are not doing these things, but women are imagining them. How does that work? So let's say, hypothetically, that this guy says, "Hey, you look ugly in that," and then she says, "Hey, that hurts my feelings." Now you have a problem caused by him. But on the other hand, let's say that she feels ugly today, and then He walks in the room, and she says, "Hey, why are you looking at me like you think I'm ugly?" Now, she's having a fight with herself, using him as a punching bag. That's called psychological projection, and we all do it. In fact, you are probably projecting on me right now. I think that's where my logo is. So to know if you're projecting or not, you have to know, did this person do something and I'm reacting to it, or did I imagine that they did something and I'm reacting to my own imagination? A lot of people project onto me. They think, well, I don't like Homath and I don't like Andrew Tate, so Homath must think of himself as the next Andrew Tate. That's something that they are imagining for them to attack. So if lesbian divorce rates are higher, maybe it's because they're doing more of this. In most religious traditions, masculine energy is considered positive and feminine energy is considered negative. And again, that doesn't mean good and bad. You need both in balance. In this case, negative just means the space that things are in, and positive means the things that you put in it. Like, where are we going to dinner? She doesn't want you to ask her what she wants, she just wants you to put something in the space. Choose carefully. Now, everyone is part masculine and part feminine, but women are more feminine. So with two women, that's going to be a lot of negative energy. I have known a few lesbian couples, and there was one in particular where, I don't know how else to say it, there was no butch one. There were just two chicks. It was two straight-looking girls with a cat. I knew them well enough to see them fight a little bit, and their fights were very girly. It was they kind of went like, you never buy me flowers. Well, you never buy me flowers. Well, you never initiate. Well, you never initiate. It was a lot of I need. And there's nothing wrong with negative. Like, I'm hungry is a negative feeling we all feel every day, and then let's get food is the positive response. So we all feel negative things, but the trick is to know when they're coming from someone else and when you're just imagining that they are. And there is some evidence that women's brains are more sensitive to negative emotion. That's why consciousness is so important. You have to be able to look at what you're feeling instead of just feeling something and reacting to it. That's why we have all these videos going around of normal everyday girls saying they want a guy who makes $500,000. That is a lot of negative energy, and it's out of balance. So for men, you have to be providing all the value that you can, but for women, you have to be making sure that what you're asking for is reasonable.
Exactly. Reasonable. So y'all, they're going through the same shit that we going through with these women. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this show. I hope it was very informative for you. I try to teach y'all some, give y'all information that y'all may not hear. And again, this is not a bashing video. I'm not jumping on anybody in the LGBTQIA. Again, you got to say that or they get mad and shit and come egg up your house. But anyway, I want peace among everybody. Yeah. Y'all have a good one now. You hear?